I'm Sarah Starr, and this is your space weather forecast for today. We had another very large M-class flare this morning. The veil is very thin. We have a lot of energies that are coming in. We have our equinox energies. We have solar storms. Geomagnetic storms are expected today. We have a very active region, and we have just a lot going on right now. So number one, how do you feel today? Because we are kind of jolted with this energy today. This is the first day of our new astrological year. So we're getting a lot of clearing out today. We have Mercury and Chiron today teaming up together. They are releasing a lot of past traumas and a lot of that negativity that you have been kind of suppressing for a very long time. So it's kind of clearing that narrative out and creating a whole new space for you. Is it pleasant? No. Do you still have to go through the emotional process of dispelling all of that? Well, yeah. So I can't say that it's going to be fun, but it's going to be necessary. Because not only is it like a sensitive issue, but by addressing those sensitive issues and getting rid of that, integrating all of that emotion, all those emotional traumas, that's going to bring a lot of that strength. There's that Leo energy with our moon in Leo. So a lot of strength is going to be uncovered because you are discovering this whole new person, because you're able to get rid of all of that. You're able to let go. Hello, new year. So with this, you may be more comfortable talking about maybe the things that you have been going through. If you need a spiritual coach, if you need emotional integration, which I do sessions like that, so you can always message me if you're interested in shadow work. But basically, you're opening up and letting go of this whole persona that you thought was embarrassing, that you suppressed because you just didn't want to acknowledge that these things happened to you or happened to somebody else. And you are picking those pieces up and you are waiting for an opportunity to just grab you and push you forward, because you know that's where you want to go. You're taking those steps to get there. And with our moon in Leo, not only is it pumping us up full of this courageous, bold energy, but it's also enabling us to speak our truth in a much more compassionate, heartfelt way, you know? So it's also giving us a lot of passion to go ahead and make these changes. It's like, this is a good thing, and you're kind of clicking to that aspect that these changes, yet again, need to be made, and they're okay to be made, and it's okay to talk about these things. And yet again, you're super excited to start that new chapter. So we have that new spring equinox energy that is incoming. We have geomagnetic storms that are coming in, and they are going to weaken our magnetic field, allowing some high cosmic energies to come in and integrate and raise that collective consciousness, not only yours, but everybody else's involved. And we are just on that path, and it's very exciting. So today we're having geomagnetic storms. Who's ready? And this morning we had an impulsive M7.4 solar flare, which is almost an X-class flare yet again from the same exact region that gave us that large M-class flare yesterday, a 6.7 M-class flare. Now, this one did not have a CME either that was associated with it. There was a dimming in the corona, but no eruption, no ejection, which is really odd, because anytime that we're getting these very large flares in the past month, have you noticed there's no corona mass ejection associated with it? There's CMEs all of the time, but not with the large ones. So I feel like these energies are not supposed to dispel at this time, but the light is enough, like, yet again, baby steps with everybody. The light is enough to integrate into humanity without killing them, you know? Too much energy can be too much on the physical human body. So I believe that these energies are being very gracious. But this M-class flare did send us into a R2 radio blackout, so communication issues early this morning may have been prominent in these areas specifically. Now, yet again, that M-class flare came from the same exact region that gave us that other large M-class flare yesterday, that 6.7. So this morning, we've had a very, very large one. Prior to that, we've had lots of C-class flares, but also another M-class flare. 3615 on the left side of our sun is really, really bright and very, very active. Let's look at it. We have 7 sunspot regions on our sun. 3615, brightest, most active, complex region by far. 3614, we thought that this region was going to be the main player. However, that is not how it works out. This region specifically is what we are going to look at. These ones, the flare probabilities are pretty low, so we're not really going to pay attention too much. Plus, they're heading off of the limb of the sun. These are new. They're staying for the week and the weekend. So we have 2 major regions to look out for. So 3614, like I said, not too much of a flare probability there, although it still is in beta and delta range. Now, this is the region that we are really going to take a look at because we have had such large M-class flares. We have a very large possibility of having an X-class flare from this region, and it is going to be Earth directed in the next coming of days. And it is right next to a coronal hole. So if we do have an ejecta of plasma from this region with our solar winds amping up, we can see definitely a large geomagnetic storm because of that. So here is a close-up of our region 3615. It is in beta and gamma range, still around the same exact size of 240, same exact number of sunspots, although they are exploding. The percentage of X-class flare here, I think, is definitely not updated, obviously. We have had a 15% chance for those M-class flares, which we are getting. C-class flares, yeah, of course we're getting them. Look at the load behind us and on the chart I just showed you. But we have a lot of beta configuration here, not too much of a delta. The trailing spots are kind of losing itself, but right up in here is where we are looking at. We have a lot of potentials. This is, yet again, the most complex region that we have. Obviously, you can tell we have a lot of configurations here. There are some buffers in between, but within the whole week, this can change. This can change hourly. So we really need to look out for any of these active regions because we're in the solar maximum. These are very serious things. There are very serious complications that can happen when we have coronal mass ejections, which we're going to look out for. We don't want another Carrington event, although it's going to happen. But as you can see, we have a lot of light that is coming in from this side of the sun. We have some more major sunspot regions that we will see come on within the next week, but we really are going to take a closer look at this region specifically. So here's our coronal hole. Notice it's right next to our region 3615. So yet again, if we have an ejecta of plasma from that region, these solar winds are really going to amp up. It will cause radio blackouts. This could cause a lot of communication issues. This could down planes. This could mess up your cell phone usage, your internet, any type of communications will go down. These are major, major threats. Actually, the most major threat that is on the planet is the sun. Nobody knows this. I'm telling you this, go look it up, it's the truth. So whenever we report on the solar weather, note that it is a very serious thing. Yes, it's wonderful and it's beautiful and we're getting light codes, but it can also cause a lot of disasters and a lot of cataclysms. The solar weather is no joke. Now we are going to have some geomagnetic storms coming today. We're at a KP 4 and 5, which is expected to hit those active geomagnetic storm levels. So we will see an uptick in our solar winds. We will see some really pretty colors in the high latitude areas. It's going to transfer into our 21st tomorrow with our geomagnetic storm levels. So expect to feel a little bit more density. There's going to be a density that is associated with this geomagnetic storm. Not too much velocity, but you're going to feel a little heavy and a little weighted. Remember, we're in that Leo energy as well, so don't be super impulsive and don't be super bold. Leo, pound our chest, let's go. But we need to ground ourselves with these geomagnetic storms specifically. Currently, we are at a KP1. We are expected to see an interplanetary shock from our solar winds later in the day. However, we haven't seen it yet. I will keep you posted on that. And our Schumann is pretty quiet right now. The amplitude is around a 34 and the frequency is up. So a lot going on today, a lot going on this week, a lot going on next week. How do you feel? Remember, it's okay to talk about your past traumas. It's okay to confide in somebody, but you need to let these go. You need to integrate what your life lessons are from that and then move forward. I'm Sarah Starr and this is your space weather forecast for today. Love ya!